Woodpeckers continues to push out tools that make woodworking easier, sharper, and more precise. In today's video, we are breaking down their latest releases and why so many woodworkers rely on them for top-tier results. Whether you are building simple projects or tackling complex builds, these new tools can upgrade your workflow in a big way. All the links to the tools featured are in the description box below. Let's get started.
Loose tenon joinery has been around for centuries, but its popularity has skyrocketed over the last few years. If you would like to get in on the strength, speed, and convenience of loose tenon joinery without spending thousands to get geared up, we've got just what you're looking for. Woodpeckers Mortising Jig. Using your plunge router and Woodpeckers Mortising Jig, you can route mortises any size, from 1/8 of an inch to 1/2 inch, in inch or metric dimensions. And unlike dedicated mortising tools, you can make the mortise any width you want, up to 3.5 inches. The secret is the top surface of the jig. It's a giant adjustable template with machined center lines. Just align the center line on the jig with the center of your stock. Set the length of your mortise and route it out. The template guide bushing is the same, no matter what size mortise you're cutting. We made it simple to clamp your material in place with plenty of track clamp slots. And you can clamp stops and fences in place to make repetitive work go faster. Woodpeckers makes dozens of upcut spiral router bits in sizes from 1/8 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, including metric sizes used by the Festool Domino. And we make half-round router bits in both inch and metric sizes, so you can mill your own tenon stock to fill up all your mortises. Now, with this one convenient jig, you can cut mortises on virtually any project component. Square, round, mitered, even complex shapes. Like all Woodpeckers products, the mortising jig is precisely machined and carefully inspected right here in Strongsville, Ohio. Woodpeckers Mortising Jig, covering every loose tenon project you can imagine, and even some more that you haven't dreamed up yet. Order yours today. Whether you're a hand tool junkie or a machinery fan, there's always a time when a joint needs just a little bit of adjustment. When you're tired of relying on luck when making critical adjustments, reach for Woodpecker's new router plane. Woodpecker's router plane combines precise depth adjustment with flexible blade positioning for a tool that both new and experienced hand tool users will simply love. Woodpecker's router plane revolves around the blade mechanism. Literally, the base of the router plane features 3 mounting locations for the blade assembly, meaning you can arrange the blade and the handles to keep more of the sole on your stock and keep the blade cutting with the grain. The toolless depth adjustment features a fine pitch screw and a specially designed brass knob that virtually eliminates backlash, giving you pinpoint control over the depth of cut. The depth lock uses a clever dual wedge clamp to securely lock the blade shaft square to the base, and you can repeat critical depths with the depth stop. Your pockets, mortises, rabbets, grooves, and dados will always come out flat, smooth, and the correct depth. Your router plane comes with a spear point blade in addition to the square blade, so you can get right up into tight corners. The back of both blades has been lapped perfectly flat and polished to a mirror finish. The bevel has been carefully ground to the correct angle and needs only light honing before use. We also offer an optional fence for use as an edge guide. The fence attaches with just 2 screws and can be installed on any of the 3 sides. Each router plane is built using top-quality materials. We mill the base from a billet of ductile iron. Then we give it a black nitride treatment, creating a hard, corrosion-resistant finish you may have seen on firearms. All of the other parts are aluminum, brass, or stainless steel. Wherever you need to make that fine, critical adjustment, the router plane has you covered. Like all Woodpeckers products, each router plane is precisely machined and carefully inspected right here in Strongsville, Ohio. Precision joinery made possible with a precision hand tool. Order your Woodpeckers router plane today. If you like the versatility of our Polini pocket rules and the accuracy of our Big Cal woodworking calipers, you're going to love our new stainless steel setup square. Woodpecker's setup square starts with a well-balanced stainless steel 8x12 square, machined to Woodpecker's strict tolerance of plus or minus 0.0085 degrees. The square, by itself, without any of the other features, would make a great addition to your shop. But we didn't stop there. We borrowed the stops from the Polini pocket rules for scribing parallel to the edge of your stock. And since both arms are the same width, you can have 2 dimensions ready to go at the same time. The ends of both arms have a notch, just right to keep your pencil calibrated to the end. And the notches keep your pencil right on track, too. The stops double as a base for when you want the square to stand on its own, such as setting the height of a router bit, or when adjusting a carcass assembly square. The second included accessory is a caliper head. Face the head into the square to measure with a high degree of accuracy, even on round or irregular stock. With the head facing out, you can get an accurate measurement from the base with a reference surface over 4 inches long. This makes setting the depth of cut on a table saw a breeze. There's no guessing about top dead center, you've got it covered. The setup square comes complete with 2 stops and the caliper head, plus a wall-mountable racket to keep your square right in plain sight and always ready for work. Like all Woodpeckers products, the setup squares are precisely machined and carefully inspected right here in our Strongsville, Ohio facility. Fast and accurate machine setup, project layout, stock inspection, and assembly checks. Order your setup square today. Flawless joinery begins with precision layout. When that layout needs to wrap around a corner, the new Woodpeckers Folding Saddle Square is the right tool for the job. Woodpeckers Folding Saddle Square simplifies layout work that requires marking 2 adjacent sides at the same point. A carefully engineered joint eliminates any lateral play between the 2 halves, while allowing fluid adjustment to match any angle. The edges are milled after final assembly to ensure they're perfectly in plane with each other. Whether working with square material or oblique angles, the folding saddle square will carry your layout around any corner. We make the folding saddle squares in 2 sizes, 1.5 by 7.5 and 1 inch by 5 inches. They're available individually, or you can save some money by getting them as a set. For faster, more accurate layout work, order your folding saddle squares today. We introduced our auxiliary rib vents in July of 2024. Customers with full-size table saws love it. It's straighter, longer, and taller than any stock rib fence, and you can configure it exactly how you need it to get the best cut possible. But one question kept coming up again and again. Do you have a shorter one for my smaller saw? Now we do. Introducing the Compact Auxiliary Rib Fence. Perfect for smaller table saws, band saws, or anything else with a rib fence. The Compact Auxiliary Rib Fence is built using our Super Track, found on our router table fences, spline jig, variable router jig, and other products. We made it 36 inches long and provide 2 7-inch material supports to hold up your stock on both the infeed and outfeed side. A pair of clamping blocks secure the Compact Auxiliary Rib Fence to your standard fence. It's perfect for today's smaller job site table saws. And for your bandsaw, now you have a reference surface that's longer, taller, and straighter, giving you more accurate cuts every time. The clamping blocks lock into place anywhere along the length of the track, allowing you to find just the right spot on any size or style of saw. The material supports attach to the bottom of the fence, so they're automatically aligned to the table. Now you have a fence you can adjust to the needs of every cut. The standard setting gives you a taller fence, perfect for cutting box lids and raised panels. And the accessory tracks let you attach feather boards, stops, and shop-made jigs. The low setting allows you to safely cut thin rips without any interference between your push stick and the fence. And you can even raise the fence above the table for template cutting and straight line ripping. When you don't need the Compact Auxiliary Rib Fence, it comes off in seconds. When you need it back again, just clamp it in place and get right back to work. Like all Woodpeckers products, the Compact Auxiliary Rib Fence is made right here in Strongsville, Ohio. All the great features of Woodpeckers' original auxiliary rib fence, sized for your smaller machines. Order your Compact Auxiliary Rib Fence today. Woodpeckers uses premium materials, a patented self-adjusting miter bar, quick adjusting clamps, standard track clamp slots, and perfectly spaced scales to place this taper sled head and shoulders above all the others. It starts with a base built with exterior-grade plywood, faced with a super slick resin-impregnated bottom, and a non-skid honeycomb-textured phenolic on the top. We mill slots in the top to attach the miter bars, so you can adjust the taper sled to virtually any saw blade to miter slot distance. If you have a taper or straight line project that's too wide for the sled when it's using the miter slot, you can take the sled off the bars in just seconds and run the edge against the rip fence. We'll take a look at using the sled with the rip fence, but first let's take a closer look at these bars. The dual miter bars stretch over a 36-inch span. They feature our patented leaf spring automatic adjustment, which compensates for miter slots that are poorly machined or worn from years of use. The miter bars are the best way to guide the taper sled as long as everything fits. When you've got something that's too big, you can run the edge of the sled against your rip fence. That's a perfect way to split a natural edge slab to make a river table, or establish one straight edge on a natural edge slab or a rough sawn board. Getting back to normal size projects, let's look at the fence. Unlike fiberboard fences, our formed steel fence won't deflect with clamping pressure. The clamp attachment slots are keyholed, so you can remove the clamps completely when you're making adjustments. The material hook at the end of the fence adjusts from completely out of the way up to 3/4 of an inch of support, and no tools are needed for adjustments. The hook is perfect when the narrow end of your taper is between 1 inch and 3 inches. But sometimes your taper angle and the stop don't play nicely with each other. That's why we machined a track clamp slot parallel with the saw blade and included an extra track clamp bolt and knob. Now you can make a custom stop that works at the back of your material or on the leading edge. You'll find with the steel fence and the knuckle clamps, there's no chance that your workpiece is going to move. But the knuckle clamps are not your only option. You can also use standard track clamps to secure your work or position a stop. The scales are set into the top exactly 24 inches apart, which makes setting rise over run angles simple and precise. If you're ready to incorporate tapers into your woodworking projects, and you want a taper sled that's built to deliver accurate results and last for generations, it's time for Woodpeckers Taper Sled. Order yours today. That crisp, clean edge off your joiner, table saw, or hand plane makes your joinery come together perfectly. But those sharp edges won't feel right or stand up to daily use in your finished piece. You need to knock them down a little bit. Woodpecker's Easy Edge softens those edges in just a few strokes. Heck, I can probably have all these boards done before I could find the right router bit and get it set up. The sole of the Easy Edge is a perfect 90 degrees. Rest the Easy Edge on the corner of your stop. Bring the blade down until it just kisses the edge and glide along the corner of your board. Repeat until you have the amount of profile that you want. There's an Easy Edge for chamfers, 1/4 inch radius, 3/16 radius, and 1/8 inch radius. Even in highly figured maple like this, the Easy Edge delivers a flawless cut. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Heck, I could do that with my block plane. But unlike a block plane, the Easy Edge limits the depth of cut. Once I make a pass, another pass without adjusting the depth of cut doesn't do anything. The cut can't vary from one end of the board to the other, and the chamfer is always a perfect 45 degrees. Profiles on meeting surfaces match up perfectly. Another advantage to the Easy Edge is that the radius profiles are precise. Taking little bites with a straight block plane gets you something close to a curve, but Easy Edge delivers perfect radius profiles. The precision machine body of the Easy Edge looks a little bit like an old-fashioned molding plane. It's comfortable in your hand, single-handed, or using two hands for better control. The cutters are machined from 01 tool steel. Both the bevel and the face are polished to a mirror finish, creating a razor-sharp edge. Resharpening is as simple as honing the face on a fine grit bench stone. Each Easy Edge comes with a wall-mountable racket to keep your Easy Edge right where you need it all the time. You can get just the profiles you want: chamfer, 1/4 inch, 3/16, and 1/8 inch radius. Or save some money by getting the complete set. Take the hassle out of edge treatments. Order a set of Easy Edges today.
Finally, the solution to fast, accurate, and repeatable parallel cuts. The Parallel Guide System, PGS, is designed and engineered as the ultimate solution for making reliable cuts when teamed with Festool's guide rail and track saw. The all-inclusive PGS system pairs several Woodpeckers proven products: The PGS combines Woodpecker's popular zero side play flip stops and special 3-slot T-track with a new body bracket designed exclusively for rigid attachment to Festool's guide track. To rip thin stock or make cuts less than 10.5 inches, the side scales are used along with narrow stock ripping guides mounted to the flip stops. Just set the rear flip stop to the desired dimension. It couldn't be simpler. Each leg of the PGS consists of 4 pieces of T-track that extend to allow a 52-inch cut or beyond center of a 4x8 sheet of plywood. Calibration of measurement scales is a no-brainer. Woodpecker's PGS makes calibration of the measurement scales to your guide track quick and easy. By simply using the flip stops with the narrow stock ripping guides and some scrap stock resting against the track saw guide cutting edge, can't-miss calibration is quickly accomplished. So, your best solution to fast, accurate, and repeatable parallel cuts with Festool's guide rail and track saw is Woodpecker's new parallel guide system. Is manufactured using state-of-the-art CNC equipment operated by highly skilled machinists in the company's shop located near Cleveland, Ohio, in the USA.
Thanks for joining me as we looked at these standout Woodpeckers tools for woodworking. Their focus on accuracy and solid build quality makes a real difference in any shop. If you want to explore any of the tools from today's video, the links are all in the description. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more tool guides and woodworking content. See you in the next video.